Today I'm going to show you how to integrate the Steam friend list I created this tutorial about in this project here. So first of all, open up the lobby player platform and create here a new function and call it show friend list. Then I'm adding here an input pin, calling this bShow, and make sure it's a boolean. So we'll implement this function here later and can go back here for now to the content browser where we want to add a new blueprint class actor, call it BP friend list. So let's open this, and here I'm adding a new widget and setting this widget class here to Steam friend list. Then changing this here from world space to screen space and setting the draw at desired size to true. Also, I'm going now to class defaults, where I'm searching here in the details tab for hidden and setting the actor hidden in game to true. So I wanted that this whole actor here is hidden in game by default, because we're now going back here to the lobby now and dragging it in here. Doesn't matter where you drag it in because we will change it later in the blueprints. And yeah, when we start going in the lobby, we don't want to immediately see the friend list, only if we're pressing here buttons to open the friend list. And that's why it's set to hidden in game by default. So going here to the event graph and create a new function. And this function I will call just show. And adding here two inputs to this function. The first one, calling also bShow, a boolean. The second one, from lobby player platform. And the type is lobby player platform. So here I'm going in first with a branch. And if we want to show the friend list, so on true, the actor should not be hidden anymore. So I'm going here, set actor hidden in game, can leave it on false. And of course here on the false pin, we want to hide it again. Then I'm creating a new variable here and calling this last lobby player platform, setting this here to lobby player platform. So I'm just integrating this now and we'll explain it later. Getting this here, checking if that is valid. And if it is valid, then you want to get another one of this and say show friend list to false. And getting now the this value here from lobby player platform. And since this is an input here of this function, we also have it inside this function as local variable. So if we are inside this function, we can search here for from lobby player platform. So we don't have to connect it all the way from here. We can just have this separate node, and that keeps everything more organized. So we're getting this here and setting here the last lobby player platform with this value. Then also on the is not valid, we're connecting this here. And now actually copying all these nodes here and duplicating them below this here, connect this to. Only thing we want to do is or like removing this node. So up here, we are setting this with the from lobby player platform. And here we are setting this basically to nothing, so to null. So the next step we're going to do is going back here to the content browser and creating a new user interface widget blueprint. User widget and call it WB underscore open friend list button. Opening that. Here I'm adding a size box and defining the size here, let's say to 50 and 50 in the width and 50 in the height. And changing this here from fill screen to desired so we can instantly see it here. Then I'm adding in there a button. Again, you can use a normal button if you want, or I recommend watching my button tutorial for that, my custom button tutorial. Yeah, you can also use that one. Basically, you don't have to use this one. So both are used kind of in the same way. So in this button, if you're using the normal button, you would have to add a text on it. Here we can directly type or change the text. I will just change it to a plus. And here now on the button, I'm going here to on-clicked custom. So clicking on this, and remove this here. And here I'm adding a variable and calling this lobby player platform ref. Going here to lobby player platform ref, getting this here, and also triggering the show friend list here. Then let's go to the lobby player platform, to the viewport, and add a widget here. And I'm calling this open friend list button, moving this a bit up and setting here the widget class to open friend list button, and changing this here to screen space and draw as desired size. Then let's go back to the event graph and in here create a new function, call it setup server. Going to the event graph, adding here an event begin play, and calling this here. And we want to make sure everything that will be called in this function should be triggered only on the server. And that has the reason that only the server is allowed to invite other people. And for that reason, we also only need to set up the open friend list button and setting up the friend list. Yeah, we only need to do that on the server or like on the host. So I'm adding here branch and going here with the condition is server. And what I'm doing here on true is first getting a reference to the friend list actor. So I getting here get actor of class, BP friend list, and what this node is doing, it's basically taking a look here in the world, which actors are placed here in the world, and that is also the reason why we are dragged in this BP friend list in the world, so it will get a direct reference to this actor here. So we're having here the reference to this with this return value, and we're promoting this to a variable, calling this FriendList ref. And now we are getting the open friend list button, and we're checking here or going back to the open friend list button. You remember here when we said on clicked, we said here show friend list. Actually, while I'm seeing this should be here set to true. So if we click the button here, this plus button here, then we want to show the friend list. But this lobby player platform ref, we just created a variable here, but it's basically null. We have 5, or currently in this tutorial here, we have 5 lobby player platforms. And how should this widget know which one is meant? Because we have 5 of them. And what we did now here in the lobby player platform, we added here the open friend list button widget. And if we're playing, you can see we have 5 of them. And what we want to do now is telling each of these buttons, or each of these widgets actually, the corresponding reference to the lobby player platform. And we're doing this in the lobby player platform itself, in this setup server, getting from the open friend list button widget, getting the widget, and casting now to the open friend list button widget class. Connect this here. And saying here set lobby player platform ref to self, because we are already in the lobby player platform. So if you would press this button now, it will no longer be not valid, because now it has a value, because we set it here. And what we also want to do is, because I said only the host should be able to invite other players, and if we're playing now, you could also see that also the client is seeing the open friend list button widget. So what we're going to do is clicking here on the open friend list button and setting the visibility by default to false. Then dragging in here the open friend list button and setting the visibility to true, because this is triggered here only on the server, and for the server then shows this button again. Okay, next we still have to implement the show friend list function. So we're going in here, starting here with a branch, and getting now the open friend list button widget, getting here the widget, and what we want to do is actually hiding this open friend list button widget when we are clicking it, because kind of over it the friend list will be shown, and then we don't want to see the open friend list button in the background. And if the friend list would be closed again, then we want to see the button again, so we can click it again to open the friend list again. So what we're doing on true is setting here, getting here the widget, and setting the visibility on true to collapsed, and duplicating this visibility node here, connecting this with the get widget, and connecting this here with the false. And on false, we want to set it to visible again. And if we show it, we want to show the friend list. So we're getting the friend list ref. We want to show it at the location where this lobby player platform is. So if we're clicking on the open friend list button on the very left lobby player platform, we want to see the friend list there. And if we're doing it in another lobby player platform, we want to see the friend list at this place. So we're now getting here the friend list ref and setting the actor location. And now let's go here to the viewport and create a new arrow component. I'm calling this friend list location. So later we can adjust it that the location looks of the friend list looks good. So just to not confuse it with the other arrow, I'm changing the color. But now we can go back here to the show friend list, getting this component here, friend list location, getting the world location, connecting this here with the new location. And what we also want to do is getting another one of this friend list ref and triggering here the show function, setting this to true and setting the from lobby player platform to self. Then let's test another time. So on the client, you should not see anymore here the buttons to open the friend list. On the host, you can see it. You can also see it on the players here where players are standing already. We will fix it in a bit. But yeah, if we click on the button now, you can see here the friend list. If we click here the buttons, you can see it here. And one more thing I want to integrate now is if we're going back here and not opening another friend list, or if we're just clicking here, we cannot hide this friend list. So you could add here maybe a button to close it. But yeah, what I want to show you now is if the mouse cursor is a bit away from it, then it will hide automatically the friend list. So let's do that first now. And to do that, we need to go here to the friend list actor and going to the event graph. I want to implement a new function and call this check to hide friend list. And I will call this actually on event tick because we can move the mouse all the time, and yeah, it permanently should check to hide if the friend list should be set to hidden. So we're opening this function here, and we only want to trigger it. So adding here branch, we only want to trigger it if the actor is not hidden. So if the actor is hidden in game, false. So only if the friend list is visible, it should scan for where's our mouse cursor, where's this friend list actor, or like this actor here currently shown, and yeah, should the friend list be hidden, be set to hidden. And because the friend list is an actor and actually placed then when we're clicking here on these open friend list buttons, is actually placed here at these in the world, at least lobby player platforms. And yeah, the mouse location, we're having the mouse location here, it is kind of like doesn't have a relation yet to the world location. So we're going to friend list, and in here we're getting the player controller, and Unreal has a node for that, to getting this from this mouse location, a conversion to the word location actually. That's called convert mouse location to word space. And what we are now trying to achieve is, if I'm getting the this actor here of the friend list, if I'm getting here the actor location, what we're trying to achieve is, when I'm playing again, if I'm having the friend list, for example, here, now the actor is placed here, or if I'm clicking on here, now the actor is placed here. And what we're trying to do is, if I'm going with the mouse to this location about here, about the center of this friend list actor, that it then should be, then we then should have the same location kinda. So we have the friend list location, and this converted mouse location should also be the same, so we can compare them, and comparing them, and if this location getting too much difference, like we can define this later, like let's say for example here, then the friend list should be set to hidden. But if it's like about equal, or like kinda equal, like in a radius, then it should still be visible, because we still want to click here on stuff and invite friends and so. So we're having this here, this conversion, and what we're doing now is, actually we're having here this word location, but it's kind of only the mouse location horizontally and vertically, but our camera is back here, and we're having the friend list actors placed in the world here. The problem is that this conversion node does not know how much to go forward or backward actually to getting the same location here. So what we're doing for that is, we're having here a word location, and we multiply this word or like this word direction here. We multiply this with the actor location of this friend list here, and getting here the distance to the word location. And we are adding this now to the word location. So again, by the word location, it knows where the location about is, upwards and horizontally, and by adding this here, it knows how much it needs to go forward to match the friend list location, and also in which direction it should go. So it's a bit complicated, but yeah, I hope you understood it, and if not, that doesn't matter that much either. So going here with another branch and checking now if this here is equal, and we're getting the normal equal, or like the equal where we have this error tolerance here. Then I'm connecting this here, this with the condition here, and on false I'm setting show to false. And here for this error tolerance, I'm promoting this to a new variable and calling this fall of radius. And we could set this maybe to a value of 200, or you can set it whatever you want. It's just defining how far we can go with the mouse away from the player list to actually hide it. So you see now it's getting hidden. If we're here, now it's getting hidden. You can also make this a bit smaller, that's already hidden here or so, how you like it. But also I feel that the friend list widget here could be a bit smaller, and we can change this pretty easily too. We can go to the friend list widget. I think it was here, and we can wrap the whole thing with the scale box, setting the scale box here to user specified, and maybe I'm setting this to 0.6, so only still 60% of the original size. If we're trying it now, it's a bit smaller. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is only showing the open friend list button if the friend list or if the lobby player platform is still empty, if there's no character on it. And also if a character is then, for example, spawning, let's say here, that this button is appearing, and if a player leaves and this lobby player platform is free again, that then this button here is appearing again. So now let's go to the lobby player platform actor, and here going to the event graph, and where the character is spawning. So here, after the character spawned on the platform, we now want to check actually, like, first of all, we want to hide the open friend list button. So we set here the visibility directly to false. And the other thing we want to do is check if the friend list is currently located at this lobby player platform. So what we're doing is getting the player friend list location here, get actor or get world location, and getting the friend list ref, from that getting the actor location. Then we compare it. If that equals, we know if the friend list is currently at the friend list location of this lobby player platform, then we know the friend list is here at this player platform. So we're checking this. I don't think that we need to add a tolerance here, but just to be safe, you can add something really small in here. Maybe maximum 5 or 1 should also be totally fine. And yeah, if the friend list is here, we're getting the friend list ref and say just show to false. And we can copy this set visibility of this open friend list button, paste it down here, and we're saying here set the visibility to true again. So if this lobby player platform is getting free again, then we want to set the visibility here to true again. Also here on an is not valid node, let's connect this as well with the set visibility. And if we're trying this for another time, then we can see here where the characters are standing, we cannot see the open friend list button anymore, which is fine. What we're going to do next is that the host should be able to kick other players. So we're adding now a button next to the player names to kick them. And for that, we are going to the player lobby info, adding here a normal button, dragging this in here to the horizontal box, setting the background color of this to alpha 0. And on this button, we're placing a text where I'm setting the text to just X and making this maybe something red. You can style it a bit more, maybe with an icon or an hover animation or so. But for this button, I will just rename it now to button kick. And going here now to the onClicked event of this button. And in here, I'm getting the game mode casting to the lobby GM, and want to call a function in here that we still have to create. So going here to lobby GM, creating a new function and call this kick PC. And here we want to call the node kick player and just connect this node here with the function main node here to create here a new pin that it looks like this. And if we have this, we can go back to the player lobby info and calling here the kick PC function. For this player to kick, we're getting the player lobby info, breaking this, connecting with this with the PC. Then I'm creating a new function and calling this update kick button. And in here, I'm first getting the player lobby info, breaking this, and checking if this actually, checking here if the PC is unequal, not equal, get player controller. So this is only for the reason that the host should not be able to kick himself. And if this is the case, we need to add an AND node here. Also, only the server should be able to kick other players. So these two conditions here. And in this case here, we want to set, getting here the button kick, and set the visibility to visible. What I forgot to do in the designer, we want to set the button kick by default to collapsed. Finally, we need to go to the update function here, and let's call this update kick button somehow here. And now everything should be fine, and we can check the final result. So on the left, you can see the host window, and on the right, the client. And the host has here these buttons to invite other players. I'm clicking on them. You can see the friend list here. Could actually see friends if we would run this in standalone game and having Steam opened. And when moving away with the mouse at a specified fall off distance, the friend list is disappearing. And also the host, as you can see here, has the possibility to kick other players. And if you click that, then you see that the client here is now kicked to the main menu or to the game default map. And right, that was everything from this tutorial. And next tutorial, basically what we're doing is making this start match button working, so server travel, and also turning this here finally into a main menu. And see you then.